Money. Money has been one of the most important parts of our society since it was invented however long ago. We've been using it for years. Wars have been fought over it. People have died over value, over gold, over coins, and now over pieces of paper, all of which hold some kind of value that can never really be seen. So let's really take a look at how money affects our daily lives and how it really feeds into our own vicious cycle. So first off, let's look about the meaning of value for a second. Because if you look at a dollar bill right now, or a quarter, or a nickel, or a $20 bill, whatever you choose, it has no value inherently, except for the value we assign to it. That piece of paper can only buy you whatever $20 worth of goods are, not because it's inherently worth something, but because we assign worth to it. Same thing with those $20 worth of goods. It's not definitive that they're worth $20. That's just the value we assign to them. So what exactly dictates the value we assign to them? Well, the economy, basically, which is more or less a bunch of made-up rules that we now have to abide by. It's a little more complicated than that, but we can slim it down to just that. The economy could be completely removed, and everything would change, but that doesn't mean... I don't know where I'm going with this. That doesn't exactly mean that the economy was a cornerstone of our lives. It just means that the economy is so deeply ingrained in our society that without it, we basically collapse. So what about value, just inherently? I mean, gold is rare, so it has to be valuable, right? Well, not exactly. Gold is actually a more plentiful resource than a lot of people realize, but still we call it one of the most valuable things on our planet. And that's not even taking into account mining meteors in the near future. Dang, that sounds weird to say. But we do look at a bunch of things like, what makes salt so valuable? What made spices so valuable back in the old spice trades whenever it was almost illegal to do so along the Silk Road? What did all of this value come from? Well, it mostly came from our own desires. So, did you know that there is about as much gold as there is salt in our world? It's kind of crazy to think about. So why is gold 10 times more valuable, at least, than table salt nowadays? Well, part of that reason is because we've learned how to engineer salt in a lab, so it's become more and more plentiful as we've created it. But at the same time, gold has no purpose. Salt has many purposes. It can be used as a spice. It can be used to preserve foods. It can be used for numerous things. But gold only really has a few uses. It's metallic. It's a great conductor. But other than that, gold has nothing really going on. So why do we treasure gold? Why do we hold gold up to a very high standard? But salt just becomes a rock we eat, even though they're about the same rarity. It doesn't really make sense to me. And that goes even further when we start talking about cash. They're just pieces of paper given a value. I mean, we can tell that more today more than we ever could in the past, now that our government has been taken off of the gold standard and they're just printing basically as much money as they want. But the value fluctuates of it, but does it have to? I mean, the whole way we do value is made up, is what I'm trying to get at. The whole way we do money, the whole way we do value, the whole way we do trading, in marketing, in buying and consuming and producing, it's all a completely made up system dictated by rules we made that we follow as if they're laws of nature, as if they're laws of science, even though They could very easily be changed if they weren't so ingrained into us as a society. So what about gold is worth more than salt? What about a dollar bill is worth more than a nickel? And honestly, I would think a nickel would be worth more because it's made out of metal. But that's just a thought. Because money is a big problem in today's society. It single-handedly won Trump the election, not getting into politics, but it's become a very reoccurring issue. For a system we have created entirely by ourselves, it's very much so a problem in society today. And it's very much so one of the things that can stress you out. Many people have gotten things like anxiety over money, over insurance, over medical bills, over college payments, over whatever it may be. All things we apply value to for no inherent reason, but just because we want to. But why do I choose to talk about money now? I mean, I've been back on the YouTube scene for about 6 months now. Why is now the time I talk about money? Well, if you didn't know, I'm making a movie. And you want to know what my budget for that movie is? $500. That's it. That's all I have. All I have to make a movie, to do this channel, to do anything I want to do for this kind of entertainment field, I've decided to put myself in. And no, that is not a lot of money. I can barely even produce, well, not I, but the average creator can barely even produce one video with $500. And I don't really love begging for money. I'm not here on the internet for money at all, but I do have a movie in the making. So I have set up a Patreon, and if you want to support me or the movie, all funds in that will be going directly back into the channel. So if you guys want to check it out, it will of course be in the description from this point forward and on my channel. So if you do want to support me, please take a second out of your time, check it out. But no, by no means should you feel obligated. But with that, this has been Wonder and Wisdom, and I'll see you guys down in the comment section.